Silver, silver, silver. You gray, shiny, alluring temptress. You really know how to move. The way you let your prices go up and down only pulls silver investors in deeper. The price promises you make, kept or unkept, seem to have little or no effect. Once silver touches a hand, that investor becomes mesmerized, disregarding price, performance data, or reason. Silver uses its low entry price to draw investors in, only to take advantage of them with high premiums. Just when you're ready to break free of this potentially toxic relationship, silver does it again. It moves in just the right way to keep you hopeful for the final and ultimate payoff. All of silver's tempting is only magnified by the hypers and promoters who work like henchmen to help keep you under the spell. They make sure that they promote only the prettiest and shiniest of coins as the perfect eye candy distraction. They make sure Eagles, Britannias, Maples, and dare I even mention the topless Libertad, get into your hands. And then they quietly sing the remix of Sam Smith's song Unholy Silver. Mama don't know daddy's getting hot at the coin shop doing something unholy. He reaches in his pockets, the money he's dropping it, staring at those coins slowly. Okay, I better stop before I get flagged for mature content. Either that, or I'm just gonna need to write a book called 50 Shades of Grey Bullion. While half-heartedly kidding, I really feel like this intro explains the relationship most stackers have with silver. Just when you're ready to give up on it, it finds the perfect time to drop the boom on you, and then you have this giant explosion in your stack price. Yeah. Okay, all right. I said I was gonna behave. As a follow-up to my previous video, good news, bad news, I actually want to assure you that the boom is closer than you think, that a recession actually can't stop this movement, and I want to show you the compelling data that actually makes this case. For those that didn't watch the previous video, what are you doing? Seriously, are you even subscribed? Are your notifications turned on? Are you even on Discord? I need you to get your stacking life together and do all those things I just mentioned, especially since Discord is free and you have direct access to me. Lucky for you, I'm going to give you a quick recap. One, basically I see silver as a very volatile investment, but that doesn't mean risky. It just means the price fluctuates tremendously. As an investor, you have to decide what percentage of your portfolio you should have dedicated to a potentially volatile investment. Two, silver does have a history of tremendous moves to the upside. But three, it doesn't tend to stay at those elevated levels. And four, when that price movement happens, investors should consider taking profits off the table or selling out completely, waiting for the price to drop again, and then buying back more with the profits. As you can see on the screen, I've shared that there are a number of market conditions that are absolutely in favor of silver and increase the likelihood of it going boom in the near future, which is why all of a sudden I'm shifting to my preference towards silver. It's kind of simple though, the conditions have changed. As I always preach, focus on the conditions and not the predictions. Beyond the conditions that I've shared in this previous video, again, I want to give you some more compelling evidence why silver is poised to go boom very soon. So let's start with a clip from none other than Rick Rule.
You know, it's interesting. I look at discussion groups and people get excited about a move in silver for $1.50 or a move in silver for $2. I think they're in the wrong business if they care about that. You are in the silver business as a successful speculator if you are willing to endure dead money for 2 years or 3 years in hopes of realizing a 3 or 4 or 500% return in a fairly compressed period of time.
Unfortunately, that 300 to 400% move is exactly what the hypers and pumpers have been selling on YouTube for years. The problem is that, like a broken clock, eventually they will be correct, and maybe even twice. What they don't share is that these types of movements are infrequent, and it requires you to live with underperformance or dead money periods. The challenge with silver is that its behavior is what Jeff Clark, senior analyst at goldsilver.com, coined as, quote, boring, boom. Rick Rule says it another way.
What this chart points out to you, silver rewards you infrequently, but when it does reward you, it rewards you exorbitantly. And the up move is so dramatic.
Herein lies the problem with silver. Yes, you can have an explosive growth, but it comes at the cost of waiting and enduring, often longer than what most investors are willing to wait. On top of this, many silver investors almost become stubborn to their silver thesis of it reaching whatever number it's supposed to go to, that they become unwilling to lock in profits and take advantage of these boom movements And unfortunately, they end up leaving money and profits on the table. This is exactly what I want you to avoid. So let's look at this silver chart again, starting in 1971. Look at each one of these yellow spikes and tell me how it would not have been to your best interest or to your benefit to have sold towards the top and simply repurchased at the bottom. People get so focused on trading things like the gold silver ratio when you have a much simpler trade by simply selling in and out of silver. Why in the world would you endure those dead periods of silver followed by booms to stubbornly adhere to some "I'll never sell" mantra? That doesn't make any sense. That aside, let's look at the slides that show exactly how silver does its boring, boring boom act. For the record, these slides are from Jeff Clark's presentation at the 2022 Stock Pulse Silver Symposium, which I've linked in the description. First, look at 1972. The spike looks good, but then when you look at 72 through 74, you see the silver boom and the percentage gain. Then look at 79 through 80. That spike, boring, boring, and then boom, 800% in 11 months. Then 86 through 87, boom, 97 through 98. You have a 60% increase in 7 months. Fast forward to 2002 through 2004, and the same old silver just going boom. Then there was 2005, followed by 2007, same old silver. Then 2010 and 2015. And more importantly, what do we see happening right now? Though I would argue that March 2020 was an aberration because of that event. And if you took that spike out, that actually would make my argument even stronger that we are destined for a boom in silver. Why? Because there's almost a pattern or rhythmic motion to this that silver just makes these boom moves. Take a look at this slide from goldsilver.com, which outlines the time between each of these spikes. And they found the average time between spikes to be 2 years and 7 months. Really quick, while we take this break, could you please hit the like button if you're getting any value from this video? If you like Stackers University or you just want to support my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you ever wanted to learn more about me, Dr. Stacker, please check out this video I did with Frostbite Coins and Collectibles. I will link to that in the description. Also, shout out to my brothers at Pimbex. I reached out to them the other day to order some platinum, and not only was the pricing great, I got it super fast because of the FedEx shipping. But what I really, really loved is they said, hey, your gold Big 5 element, it needs its platinum twin. And the next thing I know, I'm holding this platinum coin. And it's not even listed on their site. So shout out to you brothers for making that happen for me. And I appreciate you and appreciate sending out this other one. Check them out, folks. Great pricing. I love ordering from them. The last chart I want to show you brings home the point that gold leads and then silver outperforms. And this chart actually breaks it into several different time periods. It also provides the number of days, which brings home this time frame between spikes that we've been discussing. I think Rick Rule has the perfect words to summarize what all this data means.
It's very difficult to jump onto, in fact, what's a vertical chart. So my suspicion is that most mortals, as speculators, have to be prepared to be either in the physical silver market or in the silver equities market, which is, by the way, much more dramatic than this chart. People complain about the performance of silver. And precisely during the period of time when they're complaining, they should be accumulating. And then they get real excited about the stock after the stock has doubled or tripled. In other words, they get in the game when the game, if it's a perturbation, is over.
I'm suggesting now is the time to make sure you're positioned or you start positioning yourself for that next silver boom, especially right now while premiums have retreated. I know most of us started stacking because we wanted real wealth that we could hold. And that stacking mantra, the if you don't hold it, you don't own it, has almost become branded on our brains. But I'm going to say this again. You have to be considering mining stocks in this environment. And I know, y'all don't like it when I talk stocks, do videos on stocks, or do paid sponsored videos. But excuse me while I pound on the table here, folks. You have to have an open mind to more than physical, as you are limited to only what you can physically stack. And the real money is made in these price movements and the booms that come from the equities, not just from the metals. I do these videos and I do all this research because I don't want you just to protect your wealth. I want you to have the opportunity to create or grow your wealth during an opportunity that doesn't come around all the time. You can have both. This is not an either or proposition. Maybe Rick Rule can convince you.
But the moves that occur in the silver equities when you have a real silver bull market, if you have prepared yourself ahead of time when nobody wants it, are truly life-changing.
It wouldn't be a silver video if I didn't give you one bit of potential bad news. The case I just made for silver is based on a probability, not possibility. But that doesn't make it a guarantee. And that doesn't mean we won't have very challenging times during the middle of this year. As I told you in March of 2022, I expected gold to reach low 1700s. I absolutely expect gold and silver to retest last year's lows. The market still needs to shake out some of these weaker hands, and we still have to expect the stock market to do one big drag down where it pulls everything down, maybe only temporarily, but we got to expect that we're going to have that kind of washout moment. In reality, I think we're several months away from this boom. But if you're like me, you want to have as much time as possible to establish your positions and get your portfolios in order and balanced the way you want them. So when it does go boom, you're right there to really enjoy the ride. Balancing that portfolio, well, we'll have to save that for another video. In the comments section, do you feel like you are well positioned when it comes to silver? Did the data explain how silver tends to perform? Do you believe a silver price boom is going to happen soon? If so, how soon? Is there a specific topic you would like for me to cover in the future? Or simply give yourself an A+ in the comments for watching this video all the way through. You are always my A+ students, always stack smarter, and never stop learning.